everyone and welcome to our live stream here at Hope United Church.
We would love to see any of our services in Motherwell at 11 a.m. or in Dundee at 5 p.m.
Why not check out Pastor Mark's web series, The Thinking Church, which you can find on our Facebook page or on Pastor Mark's page on our website every Friday.
And if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to contact us at info@hopeunited.org.uk.
Enjoy the service.
They're way better than yours. We preach the same message. We're going through the book of Acts. Can everybody say hi to the live streamers this morning? Thank you for joining us. Thank you. There are people who join us every single week from down south and different places. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's good to have you. I hope you're enjoying going through the book of Acts. I know we are. So we just do the exact same in Dundee. We go through the book of Acts, every single word for word what we're doing here. And as we know, we're in chapter 24. Hopefully get finished this today. There's 17 verses. I've got through 2 in some weeks, so I don't know. I'm continually running out of time every week, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm hoping to get through. In my study, I get through it, but that did take me 4 days, so... I don't know how we'll be able to package this week. Obviously, we do First Wednesday here where we talk about different things, predominantly renewing the mind and dealing with cause and effect and stuff that goes on in your life that we don't get talking about on a Sunday. Really, the stuff and how to deal with stuff that I've learned for years. And I never want to fling the baby out with the bathwater with that stuff and not realise how important it is. So if you're into that stuff and you enjoy psychology, but remember, psychology is like a bad word when you come to church, you know what I mean? Because unawareness is a bad word in church as well. Christians predominantly are very unaware. Am I tar brushing there? Absolutely. I believe I can tar brush in that case because they're predominantly unaware people. Because it's not something that predominantly gets taught. And I can say that because I've been in church for 20 years. And I can say that predominantly people don't learn to deal with that stuff because they learn a behaviour when they come to church that stops them ever having to deal with their thinking and cause and effect and all the stuff that goes with it. I don't mean everywhere, but predominantly it's in church and it's not always helpful. So our Wednesday nights deal with that as our first Wednesdays here in Motherwell and then in Dundee. So if you're into that stuff, please get a load of that or listen to the Thinking Church where we share different thoughts. Here we are in. Listen, see when I say that, that's not to say that the gospel and the word of God. We have been in the book of Acts now for months, October, November. I don't know when. Keep asking me. I don't know. For a long time, and everything in it has been shaping and helping our life. So I'm not saying that the gospel and the word of God's not enough. It is totally enough. It just depends on what you're sharing and sharing different stuff, you know. And I think it's good to come outside from time to time if you're expository in a book and you're systematically going through a book to come out of it from time to time to share some that needs to be shared. And even if you need to correct something or some serious needs to get addressed in the church, that you just put it aside and you go and address that sucker because we have to do that from time to time. But for me, Paul, and I think James said well says it, Paul, can I get that water up, please? Paul is... I don't know that I knew Paul. I feel James said well's right. I feel as if I'm on this journey with him, and I'm sure we all are in the book of Acts and learning how the early church became and then learning about this amazing man called Apostle Paul. First 9 chapters, was Peter, then Paul, and how this guy lived. It blows my mind. Yeah. How this guy, he just seems to know how to say the right thing at the right time all the time. Yeah. Do you know, would that not be amazing to be able to say the right thing at the right time? I can say the right thing at the right time sometimes, and I can say the wrong thing at the right time a lot of times. No, but saying the right thing at the right time all the time, this guy is just phenomenal. And he's really spearheading, and as we know, Paul's life is completely different from the other apostles. Paul is a capital A apostle because he did walk with Christ in the flesh. because Jesus visited them. Capital A apostle, the apostles. No, the apostles of that time, you had to walk with Christ to be a capital A apostle. I know they get brandished about in charismatic church everywhere, that they're apostles everywhere. I don't know, maybe Jesus visited them and they were shaving or something like that. I don't know how, you get all that nonsense, you know, and it is nonsense. You know, but these capital A apostles actually walked with Christ. In fact, in the writing of the book, in the writing of the gospel, in writing of the Bible, everything had to be traced back to an apostle or it wouldn't get in. No, apart from Bibles like the NIV and stuff like that. I'm going to shock you here. No, the NIV Bible is not a good Bible to be reading for, guys. It's all right if you've got one to reference, but it's not a good Bible to read for. If you've got an NIV Bible, you know, you maybe want to consider getting a New American Standard Version, a New King James, or an English Standard Version. But a New American Standard Version would be the best to go by. The NIV is wrote with a body of people, okay? So it's wrote with a committee, the NIV Bible. So it's very loose also, as well as it's kind of gender-free. The NIV, if you're aware of that. The NIV is listen, it's not going to kill you. It's better reading the NIV and reading the Mills and Boone book, okay? So don't get you doing here if that's what you've read. And see, the thing is, that's what I would have read as well in the past. So I'm not here to get, oh no, I've read that. I didn't know there was anything wrong with that. Listen, honestly, it's a lot better than a lot of stuff out there. It's a lot better than a John Grisham novel, okay? So let's not get yourself a doing here, okay? But it's kind of gender-free. No, because it doesn't go male and female. It avoids loads of stuff. It's been translated hundreds and hundreds of times. The founders of the NIV, the man who's the founder of NIV. And listen here, we're not talking about homophobic here. I'm just talking about where they come from. You know, the founder of the NIV, the guy was gay, and the woman who was predominant, she was a lesbian. So but that didn't matter, so they get in, so they had a sway, and they had a level, they had a way of swaying thing that makes predominantly why it's gender-free and some of the stuff you maybe didn't know. I could go on and on about that, but you keep on asking me that stuff. No, but some of the wording, and especially this, just for your references, the Greek is a complex language, okay? So whether something's male or female makes a massive difference to the text, because when something's male or something's female in the Greek, it can take it in a way in a different direction, as does it in Hebrew. No, when something's in the Hebrew or the Greek, whether it's male or female, plural or singular, a noun or a verb makes a massive difference to the text and how you read it. So I would encourage you to go and have it as a reference, but don't make it your main one. That's what I would definitely say. Predominantly the people would say in this church would probably be away for that. I think I've got about 30 Bibles and I've got about 5 NIVs. I thought they were okay as well. You know, but it's line upon line, precept upon precept. You know, they're all better than the Message. Okay? Just to let you know, they're all better than the Message. You know, just avoid that sucker like the plague, I would say. Really, you know, just you'd be as well reading a novel with that stuff, because that's so out of context with so much stuff. But it's easy to read. Of course it's easy to read. No, that's not the point. Yeah. I mean, Coronation Street's easy to walk. Well, no, it's no. Bad example. Okay, let's get right into this here. So that's a freebie if you never get anything else today. They're a freebie. And please, answers on postcard to James Sedwell if you want to argue about the NIV there. But seriously, okay. The heading's the life of Paul. So let me just get in. We're in chapter 24. We're going to be at verse 10. But let me just get some context here and where we're up to and let you catch up. Paul is yet again in court. He's in and out of court. Paul has been in and out of court seems to be forever. I mean, it makes people like Callum feel good if he has passed. He's in and out of court forever. And this time he's in front of the governor Felix, who's the equivalent would have been Pontius Pilate of his time. And Felix was the governor. And the Jews are so threatened by Paul, who is a Jew, and a Roman, and a Christian, and everything that goes with it. And the Jews are so threatened by Paul, they have followed him to Caesarea and continued to try and gather as many as they could to side with them against Paul. Of course, Paul knew this. Paul knows this. He knew wherever he went, he was going to face so much opposition from people who did not want to change. Listen, if you're going to preach the gospel, you will be surrounded by people who act like they want to change, but don't want to change. Yeah. I said last week, the church is one of the only organisations in the world where people will come and they don't want to be here. Yeah. People come to church and they don't want to be here. It's just like they feel as if they need to. I was driving last night and I was going by the chapel, and I'm just saying Saturday night going by the chapel, and you seen them. No, and I can't speak for everybody, but the place was mobbed. No, gone to the and the reason it's mobbed on Saturday night is so they can go out and enjoy themselves on Saturday night without worrying about if they got them Sunday. You know what I mean? It's like a car clocking thing. It's just they probably don't want to be. I better just go, anyway. And it's no different in church. People get in church, they don't want to be here, but the thing is they also don't want to be here, because then that will make them look bad. And it's the only organisation in the world that you do that. See, if it was the pictures, you just wouldn't go. You're like, I'm not going. Oh, and no, James has got a perfect English accent you can understand. Wait till I get excited. I'm practically unrecognisable. And Paul knew this wherever he went. He was going to face much opposition from people who didn't want to change. And people who were deeply threatened by the gospel and deeply threatened by anything that was different from what they knew. And that's just life. And if you don't have any enemies and when you're preaching, then you're not sharing the real gospel. Oh, don't get me wrong, you can get enemies for being stupid as well, but you can also get enemies for preaching the gospel. Yeah. And it's much the same today. People fear change, and when their security is threatened, or they come up with all sorts of stuff to defend not following the way, which is talked about through the book of Acts, the way, meaning the way Christ or the gospel. And if you preach the gospel, you'll have enemies, and they'll be vicious. Trust me, they will. You'll not just have an enemy, they'll be vicious. And the predominant enemies are no people that's known church. I could count one hand the enemies I have who's not been in church. Most enemies are people who are run about church, or been in church and fell away from church and backslid. They're no in. Listen, see the guy that's no interest, he's no problem. You're probably going great with him in your work. Your neighbour that's no, see, he's probably bang on. It's the Christian who's left the church, or whatever. They're the nightmare. And God, the devil knows that. Because he knows that they affect you the most, and they make you second guess yourself more, and they've got more weight, and they've got more clout. And if you preach the gospel, you'll have enemies, and they will be vicious, and they will chase you. These suckers chased Paul. Wherever he went, he was there. They went to Caesarea. Who was there? Oh, they folk who don't like them. They follow you. They turn up everywhere. They're a nightmare. They're everywhere you go. You get better at dealing with them. They're forever going to be present. You better get better at dealing with them. They're not going away. Home they go, oh, Lord, deal with them. Lord, deal with them. Lord. And God's like, I'm dealing with you. I'm dealing with you. And they're ever going to be present, so we better just deal with it. Why are they like that? Because people who reject the gospel also often and mostly feel rejected by them who preach it. They end up, so then when they take a resentment, it's always against the preacher. He's always hate. He's always hate. Oh, it's the preacher or them who preach the gospel. Because they feel then rejected by them who preach it, because then sometimes they maybe need to ask them, or the word of God says something. Yeah. You know, when James went up and spoke today about the giving, see folk who follow in Christ, honestly, that's tinsel and baubles what James was saying today. He's like, no problem. See folk that's they're like, right away. See, I'm sitting in the front, and honestly, I could have sat back in a lounger. I was like, brilliant, James, awesome, easy. See if you're struggling. We change, you're just going to go, they're at it again. And we get that. They're at it again, money first. I've no in 10 minutes, 3 songs are right any money. That's how people think. That's how people think, and that's just how it is. That's just where they're at. I mean, people often reject the gospel. They often also feel rejected by them who preach it. And their pride and ego and flesh needs to find a way of proving they are no the problem. There's the biggie. Shoot the messenger, then they're the problem. And this is what Paul's going through. This is what we shared last week. And people come and say, listen, you maybe get gossips or people. No, do you know what you want to do? You don't want to have a chat with them. You just want to say, they're a podcast. Yeah. How did you get on at church? They're how I got on at church. Wait, I'll just send you a link. Yeah. Rather than trying to get on a debate, I'll just send you a link. So so what happens is they meet a disgruntled backslider or they meet somebody disgruntled. This is what the Jews are doing. Or a person who's also been unwilling to change. There's nothing like somebody who's unwilling to change to meet people who are unwilling to change and build this amazing friendship. They've both got something wonderful in common. They both don't want to get better. What a friendship. Wow. Let's sail off into the sunset together. We both don't want to change. It's crazy, isn't it? I feel like you didn't even like each other when you were here. He's also been unwilling to change or accept the ways of Christ. They have found a way of feeling better, and the ally appeases that guilt. It appeases the guilt of no man to change. This is how it is and how it will always be. Okay? It's how it is, and it's how it will always be. We ought to get better at it. Yeah. It's no going away. It's just how it is, and it's how it's going to be, so you better get better at it. Yeah. And Paul has continued to face these mobs for day one. Through his ministry, Paul just faced mob after mob after mob who's deeply threatened by the gospel and deeply threatened by the thought of letting go of what they're secure in. Your God is where your security is. End of. If it's money, relationships, he loves me not, that's your God. It does not matter. You start touching that sucker, you start touching that, and all hell can break loose. And this time he's these Jews who have now said he's defiled the temple, which he never. He says that he brought a Gentile into it, which he never. But the Jewish leaders know that stirs up people. And they know how to stir up people. Enemies know how to stir up each other. Yeah. They know how to do it. They know how to tickle your ears. It's like negative flattery, honestly. I will do a blog on negative flattery. Negative flattery. It's a huge thing. Let me explain what negative flattery is. It's a huge thing that works great in people who can't cope with walking in truth. Okay? And maybe they've got rejection and anger issues. And it allows them to hold on to their fake identity and puff up their pride. Or their largely dwindled pride. Because why? Because you think somebody cares about you. You think a gossip coming and talking to you means they care about you. Wow. They don't care about you. Yeah. Don't be an idiot. They don't give a rip about you. They're just trying to defend him. But because they're coming and tickling your ears, you go, oh, I know, and they know how to say it. And this is what they've done. This is what the Jews done. They knew the minute that they mentioned, listen, that Paul brung a Gentile in. Oh. So they use a negative, and then they fire out stuff like this. And I know you are not really into that. That's no you, because you're spot. Do you know that negative flattery? Do you get it? Do you get it? Oh, it's subtle. So, and let me tell you something. I just want to tell you. Listen, this is between me and you. 15 folk you've told. Right? This is between me and you. This is between me and you. How can it be between me and you? You've told everybody. I'd love everybody who you've told between me and you to come together. Did you ever, see when I used to, before I get saved, as if I'd ever done anything wrong when I was saved. See, before I get saved, I used to be terrified because I told that many lies. I was petrified that people had told lies to all congregated together. They're all going to fun out. I'm a pathological liar here. Because they would all congregate, because I was Billy Liar. So I'd be telling that lie and that lie and that lie and that lie and that lie, and then they would come together and I'd just be so nervous. And they'd be like, oh, and then see if the conversation went anywhere near that I was in Vietnam. I would be having a heart attack. Do you know what I mean? Because I'd lied that much. Do you know what I'm coming for there? I'd lied that much. Do you know I told that many lies? I can honestly tell you, there's some things in my life I don't know if they're real or not. Do you know that? I've just exaggerated for that long. I remember me and Callum, we talk about this stuff. I'm like, do you know what, Callum? I don't know if that actually happened. I don't even know what's real. I'm so evangelistic. I can't even mind what's real. And then they come together and they go, oh, see if they mention Vietnam. I mean, I'm not even old enough to go to Vietnam, but what? Or whatever, do you know what I mean? I'll tell you this wee story, nothing to do with the message, but I just need to tell you this wee story. Years ago, I'm in the army, right? And I'm coming home from the army, and I'm on the train coming for. I'm on the train, right? Now, Callum done tour of duties in jail, right? I caught my going away party on the way home. I was in it that long, right? So see the thing is, okay, hold on to that thought, right? So I'm in the army, right? So I got out in a technicality, defect on entry. You better believe there were a defect on entry. Me, right? I was the defect, looking for a character. So I'm on the way home. I need to be quick here because this is good, right? And I'm on the way. You keep on forcing me to tell stories. So I'm on the way home, and the trolley goes by. You know, in the trains, you can get drink on the train. So I'm a raging alcoholic at this point, right? So I'm only 20. This is a long time ago. This is 25 years ago, or no, 26 years ago. I know you wouldn't believe. You're trying to tally my age. I know. I seen you going like, no. So there were a trolley went by, and there were 4 cans of Stella Artois on the trolley. So I got the 4 going that way. Seeing the way back, another trolley came. They had another 4 cans of Stella Artois. I get the other 4 on the way back, and I became the train pest. You know, I'm talking to everybody on the train every time. All right, got to everybody. No, I get into the pub when I come back. This is getting nothing to do with this message. It's terrible. So I get into the pub on the way back, and I am no kidding. Now, I've been in the army, I think, 4 weeks. So, now I'm drunk, right? And I'm out for a few weeks before I have to get back. And I swing open the pub doors. I don't even get home. I swing open the pub doors like I'm just back for tour of duty. You know, and I open the pub doors, and everybody's standing like that, and I've got the bag, and I'm like, oh. Wait till you hear this. Start spinning a load of absolute nonsense about what I was doing. I done nothing. I never even get fitted for a uniform. I was so dysfunctional. Never back for tour of duty. The problem is, see when you sober up, and listen, I know, see when you sober up for that stuff, and then it starts to remember. Oh no. See, you start to remember the rubbish you spoke. Oh. And this is just a North Lanarkshire word, redneck. Right? Just plain old redneck. You know what I mean? I used to go to work and I would sing, like that. I'd be like, what are you doing? So you know what I was trying to do? I was trying to drown out the lies for what I spoke about the night before, because I would start to reminisce. Okay, that's enough about my madness, okay? Okay. So this is the whole attitude and mindset they bring to Felix. This is the whole attitude and mindset these are bringing to Felix, and it's important to know that. This is the attitude that all the Jews are bringing to Felix, not the army attitude, but the lies and the manipulation and the flattery and that negative flattery. They're bringing all that to Felix and all the stuff that goes with it, who they can't stand either, by the way. Most gossips hate each other. They're the problem, because no doubt they'll turn on each other at any given point. Gossips, chronic gossips, usually have a pal for about 6 weeks. They just don't have any long-term friends. They don't know how to be a friend. Yeah. They just don't know how to be a friend. The minute they become a friend, they try to rule them or control them, or they're frightened of being rejected by them, and they start controlling them. That's how they operate. You know, it's sad, it's chronic, it's heartbreaking, because you would just love them to come to know Christ, because that is a horrible way to live. It's just a horrible way to live. And they just cannot cope with the thought of people rejecting them. Because they can't cope with the thought of people rejecting them, they just reject everybody. That's how it works. So then he gives Paul a chance. Felix gives Paul a chance. This leads us to where we're at now. Paul knows exactly what was going on in the Jews, and that's why I shared that. Paul knows exactly what's going on. Just because you know exactly what's going on doesn't mean you need to say it. He knows exactly what's going on, and that propels him. And Paul was forever. He knew what was going on in people's life. He knew what was going on behind the scenes. He knew the manipulation, the negative flattery. He knew all the stuff that was going on, which just led him right in to know how to deliver. So this is important to remember as we get into this. So let's see what we can learn from yet another Paul's genius defences. He's already had so many. Here's another total genius defence. Acts 24, verse 10. Then Paul, after the governor had noted to him to speak, answered, "Inasmuch as I know that you have been for many years a judge," this is Paul talking to Felix, "of the nation, I do more cheerfully answer for myself." I love this. Some say Paul was flattering Felix. I don't see that. I don't see Paul flattering Felix at all. So Paul's in the court. The Jews have said he's done this, he's done that, try to take him out. And here's Paul then starting with saying this. And some people have said, well, I think Paul was flattering. I don't see it. I don't see that. I see Paul using Felix's experience to remind him that it doesn't matter what he said or what's been said. I want to remind you that this is a court case and I need you to leave your emotion at the door. This is a court case and I need you to leave your emotion at the door and all this manipulative stuff, and I want you to hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yeah. Okay. And he says, and your man experience. To Paul, facts and truth's all that matters. Know whether the Jews like him or don't like him. And this is what I want to speak about this morning. In order to really defend the gospel, we need to get away from what people think about us. Yeah. Because you'll end up in a tit for tat. She said, he said, she said. Who cares what she said, he said? Every time we get caught in these arguments and these fights and these battles, somewhere down the line, the gospel gets watered down and we don't share the gospel. Paul's not here to get Felix to hate the Jews. Paul is here to get Felix to love the gospel. So Paul is bringing everything back to the truth. No personality, no emotion. There's all this emotion that goes on with people in tit for tat, and it's so emotional. The more freer you get for people, the less you will personalise what they say to you. Yeah. It's irrelevant. We just personalise everything, didn't we? Yeah. Didn't we? And then you'll be like, how can you say it's no personal? Well, Jesus says, remember, if they hate you, they hated me first. Yeah. And talks about in Matthew that, listen, you will suffer many things. Paul knows this. He's not looking to get somebody on his side to prove how bad the Jews are to him. Yeah. You know, we do that. We want to get people on our side. This is not what Paul's doing. Paul's alone here. There's nobody here except him. How hard is that today? We need to have self-control in order to defend the gospel fully, and ourselves for that matter. Otherwise, you will get caught up in other people's agenda. Yeah? Do you know how many questions Jesus was asked in the New Testament? 365. In the Gospels. One for every day. Do you know how many he answered? 3. Do you know why? Because he refused to get caught up in other people's agenda. Yeah. They would ask him questions. Who do they say I am? And who do they say? And then Jesus would reply and say, well, what do you think? Yeah. Well, what do you think? Because they were always trying to hook him into something. So he would never get caught on other people's agenda. I don't know if you've ever done this. I've done it loads of times. So I'm one of yous. I'm no here. We're all in this together. You ever walk away from your conversation, you just go, oh, I wish I said that. I wish I didn't say that. Yeah. And it's this inability sometimes when emotions rise to keep under control and keep the main thing, that you end up getting sidetracked and trying to defend yourself and trying to get other people you want to hear you to get you to hear your story. No, you imagine Paul going in here and he's not saying this and you'll hear this. Paul's not going in and going, I'm going to get Felix to hate them. I'm going to prove that they're bad eggs. See, that's what gossips do. That's what the enemy does. We're here to fight the good fight of faith. That's how the enemy operates. Tries to get everybody to dislike it. Paul's not doing any of that. And this is the subheading for this morning. The gift of emotional detachment. We need the gift of emotional detachment in order to be effective. We personalise everything. Everything's, but remember, if you're getting a tattoo, I wouldn't get a tattoo, but if you're getting get a fridge magnet. Get a fridge magnet. The gift of emotional detachment. The learning to depersonalise what people say about you. It's hard to depersonalise what people say about you when you're not convinced about what God says about you. Do you hear that? Yeah. It's hard to depersonalise it because, it's just, do you know what they said next? What? Do you know what they said next? No. You know, I've had the privilege of being around about some amazing leaders in my life. Really, God's blessed me with putting me around about some amazing leaders and amazing men of God who are just, and wise men and men who have been on this journey for a long time. And for every meal or lunch or tea or conversation I've ever had, I can count in one hand. I can't even count in one hand. Counting two fingers. No, doesn't matter. I could count in two fingers the amount of times that we've ever talked about what enemies have done to us. It's just not an equation. It's just a done deal. Yeah. It's just a no-brainer. It's just like, right, okay, next. We're always talking about what we're trying to achieve and what we're going to do. Yes. We never talk about what was said to us or what was done to us. Yeah. My mentors never ever talked to me about that. They always talked to me, if anything, what was going on in me about it. Yeah. But it's just a done deal that that's going to happen, and it's just too small. Yeah. It's just it just affects the gospel too much to get caught up in it. Now, that's hard when you're in it, innit? And think about the amount of times you've wasted going in that. Do you remember that day you went out and you were out a nice drive and you planned it all with the family? And you were demented with somebody who wasn't even there. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh. Or you've been going to do something you can't enjoy. You ever went on one of the holiday of a lifetime and argued the whole time you were away? I mean, what? About what? Other people. Or stuff goes on in your mind, or you're arguing and all this stuff. And it wastes too much time. Way too much time, and Paul is not in that. And he's got this amazing gift of emotional detachment. He just does not, he's not in there. And the problem is we get caught in so many arguments that we're trying to defend against what people say about us rather than be defenders of the gospel. Small people talk about that. Weak people talk about that. People who don't want the gospel talk about that, and they try, and the enemy uses them to bring you into their realm and try to take you into that arena. And before you know it, you're back and forward with all that stuff. It's just stupid. How many people are getting lost? And wait till you see as we move on, wait to chapter 26 and 27. It's the best. This is the best, but this is the best. Because Paul's in court again with a man called King Agrippa and Festus, and it is a phenomenal court case, and it's all about that and no getting sidetracked, which I can't wait to get into. Verse 11 to 13, because you may ascertain that it is no more than 12 days since I went up to Jerusalem to worship, and they neither found me in the temple disputing with anyone, nor inciting the crowds, either in the synagogue or in the city, nor can they prove the things in which they now accuse me. I just love this. I know it's so simple, but do you know what I love about this? How no sidetracked he's getting with people's agendas. I mean, he's just getting the facts here. Yeah. I don't know that I would be like, do you know what else they said? I mean, he's just sharing the facts of the accusation here. He's just gone to Felix, he only wants to know the facts. He's not interested in what happened to you when you didn't get a bike when you were 6 and what they said. He doesn't care. That won't get you off with it. He's just sharing the facts. What he's sharing is the gospel. Yeah. He's sharing the gospel, and he's not allowing the people who have tried to look at him. He's just seen this as an opportunity. Paul is simply sharing the facts, not the personal relationship or the emotion or how they don't like him or how the Jews hate him. Paul knew all that was going on. We just spoke about how we knew it was going on. We've established that. But he's not bringing that to the courtroom. Why? Because he's not trying to get Felix to hate the Jews and love him. That's why we share that stuff. We're trying to get them to hate them and love us. Paul's only got one thing on his mind. I'm going to win this soul. I'm going to win this soul. That's how we need to live our life. I'm going to win this soul. I don't care about this or that. Everything's an assignment assassin. Everyone's assignment assassin to stop you from sharing the gospel to win souls. Right. Paul is no trying to get the Felix to agree with him about how the Jews are no nice. And so many spend so much time in conversations trying to get the people who have harmed us, and then we speak to other people trying to get them on our side. It's no helping. And we can get so caught up in that. I think we all can. And miss the most important thing. This is why we need to have self-control. Because we end up getting caught up in people's agenda and people's arguments. Paul is not sidetracking at all here. He's just not sidetracking whatsoever. He's just keeping the main. Listen, sometimes he'll say, enough about that. That's irrelevant. Tinsel and baubles. Decoy. Red herring. It's just a red herring to take you away. Listen, let's get back to the main thing. Do you know Jesus Christ is your Lord and Saviour? Do you know, do you know what I mean? Do you know Jesus Christ is your Lord and Saviour? I don't care about he says, she says. Do you know Jesus Christ is your Lord and Saviour? We don't care about the rest of the stuff. The reason we're fighting that stuff is because we're looking for acceptance and approval of people rather than to share the gospel. Okay? And Paul's my hero. He's totally my hero because he never takes his mind for his purpose. Win souls by sharing the good news. That's it. His reputation, irrelevant. What people think about him, irrelevant. We spend so much time trying to defend what we've done and what we've said, and you forget, you've got a short memory. Listen, if you're going to preach the gospel, regardless whether it's on a platform or the streets and the highways and byways, whatever you do, you are only as good as your last word for some people. Do you understand? You're only as good as the last thing you've done. Listen, I need to just tell you that I've got the scars on my back to prove it. You are only as good as the last thing you said. It doesn't matter how much you've loved people. It doesn't matter how much you've served people. It doesn't matter how kind you are to people. You're only as good as your last word. Because the minute that they're not happy, all bets are off. And see if you're in church, see the minute mama's not happy, nobody's happy. It's true. Which is wrong. Because men need to be men and stand up and be the head of the household. But they're no. Listen, some people say, well, I've not got a man or I'm that. I know. That's why the head of the household needs to be the body. That's why the head of the household needs to be the body of Christ to cover you. Paul never takes away anything. He never gets sidetracked with their agenda. He doesn't even bring it up. I mean, he's got loads to say, hasn't he? Nothing. Not a thing. It's irrelevant. Verse 14 to 16. But this I confess to you that according to the way, talking about the way, the gospel, according to the way which they call a sect, so I worship the God of my father, believing all things which are written in the law and the prophets. I have hope in God, which they themselves also accept, that there will be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and the... He's just sharing what happened. Both of the just and the unjust. This being so... See, know the truth and the truth will set you free. If you remain in my word, you'll know the truth and your truth. It's always the best policy. Yeah. Just tell the truth. Yeah. Don't exaggerate it. Don't lament it. Don't make it emotional. Yeah. So I worship the God of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law of the prophets. I have hope in God, which they themselves also accept, that there will be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust. This being so, I myself always strive to have a conscience without offence towards God and men. Felix must be like, what? I've got nothing on this guy here. I thought he was going to get into a tit for tat. I thought he was going to get into a gossip fest. Nothing. He's no flinch once. He's no personalised one accusation. Not one accusation he personalised. He has the badmouth the Jews once. He simply shared the way. Yeah. Who would love to be able to just do that? Yeah. Come on, toes. I've got toes up here. He goes on and brings even more details. He just goes on and brings more. Now, after many years, I came to bring alms and an offering. That's why he was in Jerusalem in the first place. You remember, he took an offering to bring to the poor Jews. Yeah. He was on a mission trip. It was an outreach ministry he was doing. And after many years I came to bring alms and offerings to the nation, in the midst of which some Jews from Asia found me purified in the temple. Remember, he decided to take a Nazarite law, a Nazarite sacrifice. Is it sacrifice? Aye. What did you got to say? Vow. Good, well done. Glad somebody's listening. He took a Nazarite vow, as you remember, a few chapters back, I think chapter 21, 22. Now, after many years, I came to bring alms and offerings, which the nations in the midst of which some Jews from Asia found me purified in the temple, neither with a mob nor a tumult. Meaning they were no bother. They've all said they were a war and they were a big army. When I came in, they were not a bit of problem. There wasn't a mob, there wasn't an argument. I was simply bringing an offering, which is true. I love verse 18. Would you hear this? This is amazing. Or verse 19. They ought to have been here. What? You mean they're not here? What? They ought to have been here before you to object if they did anything against me. This is what happens. People that want to criticise. People that they'll always criticise, but they'll never have a meeting. You want to criticise? Let's have a meeting. Let's come here. Let's have a chat. They never want a meeting. They want to go in your back and say something. Just say, you want to say something? That's why we do it publicly. You want to say it in my back publicly? You want to say it in my back privately? Let's say it publicly. Let's just bring it into the open. Let's stop the gossip. They're not there. Where are you? Do you know why they're not there? Because they've got nothing to defend themselves by. They don't want to be cross-examined. They do not want to be cross-examined. They've been bad-mouthing Paul and exaggerating stuff left, right and centre. And Paul says, don't you just love how he says it? I mean, I don't think I would have anywhere near as much grace as that. Do you see how he's just fired in? I mean, you think they ought to have been here. Don't you just love he's so smart. Oh, I love you, Paul. No, he's just so smart. I mean, you think they ought to have been here, Felix. What do you think? Felix, why they know? He must be like, you can just see his head going, can't you? Oh, they're not here. This must all be hearsay. Which it is. They ought to have been here before you object if they did against me. I mean, they're not even raising an objection. They've come in, they've mouthed off. They've bad-mouthed, they've mouthed off and then they're off. They've mouthed off and then they've left. Where are they? Nowhere. They're not there. Why? Because they don't want cross-examined. They don't want to hear the truth. They want found out for exaggerating and telling lies and manipulating people. I'd love to get them all together. This is what was said, and this is what was said, and this is what was said. They're not there. Why? Because they're cowards. They won't face Paul in court, or they won't face Paul in a level playing field. They just won't, won't they? No. These haters and backbiters, they won't face you in a level playing field. They just won't. Paul, without going low, and without getting into a cat fight, calls them out. And calls their character and their stories into question. Don't you just love it? And it goes on and says, 20 and 21, or else let those who are here themselves, so there were a few there, say if they found any wrongdoings in me while I stood before the council, unless it is for this one statement. So this is the one statement that they could maybe have argued with. Standing among them, concerning the resurrection of the dead, am I being judged by you by this day? Now, what a defence. How would you just love to be able to just defend yourself like that, with integrity and just with poise? It's just awesome. You know, it's so rare. I've been helping people for 20 years. I'm telling you, it's rare. It's very rare that people can defend themselves like that without getting into a spat and without getting into a bitch fest. I'm just saying it as it is. It's just rare. Because they've never went to town on themselves and the gospel's no predominant thing in their life. It just makes it so hard. And we get that. We've got wreckage of the past and we've got remnants. We get that. And if we're not there yet, we ought to want to be here. Surely that should be the goal. And we're not sharing here saying this is what you need to live like, but this ought to be the goal. In order for this to be the goal, let me tell you something. In order for this to be the goal, you're going to have to really go to town on yourself. This can't be your goal. This can never be achieved, ever be achieved, without getting honest, without really humbling yourself and maybe being humiliated. This just doesn't work. You've really got to go to town yourself and be willing to just become a slave and not be frightened of what you lose or your reputation. You've got to go to town. And Paul just shares the truth about the gospel. The more we personalise things, the less the unsaved will hear the gospel of salvation. It's that simple. Okay, let me close. I ran out of time, as usual. Verse 22, wait till you hear this. So this is everything what it was about. This was why he defended himself the way he defended himself. This is why he didn't get caught up in a slugfest. This is why he didn't get caught in this. This is what it's all about. He's only got this thing on his mind. And see, over the next few chapters, you'll see this with Paul. He's only got that on his mind. In fact, you'll read every chapter of Paul, and he's only got this thing on his mind, to preach the gospel. Wow, how many people are missing out in the gospel of grace because the enemy's infiltrated a fake believer and we end up fighting with them? It's exactly what they want. It's exactly what they want. It's exactly what the enemy wants. They don't even know. They're just trying to defend their flesh. Verse 22, but when Felix heard these things, having more accurate knowledge of the way, right, there are two ways of looking at this. Felix did have more accurate knowledge of the way. He had more accurate knowledge of the way because Paul shared more accurate knowledge of the way. But he had also more accurate knowledge of the way because Felix came from the same town and village as Philip the evangelist. He knows the gospel. He knows the gospel. This is where it gets... I'm not saying it gets scary, but this gets scary if you're trying to compromise the gospel here, and this gets scary if you're procrastinating when you're going to really surrender your life to Jesus here, because this gets really scary now. But when Felix had heard these things, having more accurate knowledge of the way, he adjourned the proceedings and said, "When Lysias, the commander, comes down, I will make a decision in your case." Do you know, it's a bit like Pontius Pilate. I wash my hands with this innocent man's blood, hoping that he's not going to get hit. No, you're hit. You had a choice to make the right decision and you choose not to make the right decision. You had a choice and you refused to make the choice. We've got a choice. This was Paul's whole focus, making Felix understand the way more clearly. He already understands it, but now he understands it even more. And Felix doesn't know what to do next. Verse 23 and 24. So he commanded the centurion to keep Paul and let him have liberty and told him not to forbid any of it. See what he's trying to do? He's trying to hedge his bets. This is what Felix is trying to do. He's not wanting to fully accept Jesus, but he wants to still look like a nice guy. Hello? You know, I really don't want to surrender my life completely to Jesus, but I want to look as if I'm waggy. And we get that in church all the time. I'm not really ready to surrender my life to Jesus, but I want to tick the box that look as if I'm trying to. This is exactly what he's doing here. So he commanded the centurion to keep Paul and let him have liberty and told him not to forbid any of his friends to provide for a visit of him. And after some days, when Felix came with his wife Drusilla, this is the young wife that he stole, who was Jewish, he sent for Paul and heard him concerning the faith. And then verse 25, now as he reasoned about righteousness, self-control and the judgment to come, Felix was afraid. I bet you were afraid. Do you know why he's afraid? He's been challenged about his sin. He's been deeply challenged about his sin. He stole his wife. He's been up to all sorts. He's been deeply challenged now. Now, as he reasoned about righteousness, self-control, and judgment to come, Felix was afraid and answered, "Go away for now." And this is the classic procrastination for people that think they're going to get another chance of the gospel next week, next year. You know, C.H. Spurgeon, Charles Hatton Spurgeon, every service he would plead with people in the congregation in the seats, say, if you've not gave your life to Jesus, you might not get tomorrow. You might not get to tomorrow. You just might not get to tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen when you leave there. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Well, I'll get another chance to get my life right tomorrow. Will you? You don't know that. This is what Felix did. I'll be all right. I'll have another chat with you. And he reasoned about righteousness and self-control, and then he says, "Go away for now until I have a convenient." How inconvenient. In all intents and purposes, there were never another convenient time. He does get him aside and then he starts bringing him in for other reasons. Fraser, do you want to come up? How I love Paul here. He's just trying to get this guy saved. The guy is totally relentless. He's totally relentless. He just wants this guy to get saved. He doesn't care about who's done what to him, who's said or what's no said. He doesn't care about that. There's a soul that needs saved. And it might be last-ditch saloon for him, and that's all he cares about. He's not trying to protect his reputation or trying to defend what people say about him or try to become somebody that everybody loves. Why do they not love me? Who cares? Felix has been convicted. He's totally getting convicted. When you preach the gospel, people will get convicted. 2 ways. They'll hear the gospel and their heart will repent, or they'll hear the gospel and they'll gnash their teeth and they'll turn against it. The gospel's offensive. It's offensive to you. It's offensive. So for a people pleasing, it's not going to help. That's why we've got seeker-friendly church and pizza night and all this stuff. Thinking somehow you can pizza people into heaven. You can't. You can't. It's not going to work. Because eventually they're going to have to come face to face with the truth. And then make a decision. The problem is with seeker-friendly church, you think you've got forever to win souls. You don't have forever to win souls. You think you've got we'll keep on building a relationship with them. We'll make them feel good. We'll make them feel loved. We'll make them feel welcome. We'll make them feel accepted for the next 3 years in church. We'll make them really comfortable and we'll just have kumbaya. We'll not really talk about God. We'll talk about this and we'll talk about shopping and Aldi's and Lidl's, and they're the first things that come into mind. We'll just talk about anything other than the main thing, thinking somehow you're softening them for the gospel. What if they don't get the tomorrow, people? What if they don't get to tomorrow? What if they don't get to their heart to be softened? What if that never happens? What then? Where do they go? Well, we know where they go. And if you don't believe they go there, then you're not saved. There's 2 places you go. There's no other name in which man can be saved except the name of Jesus. No other name. None whatsoever. Only Jesus. Only Jesus. If there was another way, God would not have sent his only begotten Son. And Felix has been convicted. They can't handle it. How he lived. How he knows he's been sinning. How he stole his wife. We all sin and fall short of the glory of God. Of course we do. But positivity is destroying the gospel in church. You're super, you're great, you're amazing. It's no helping. And the gospel's cutting him to the bone. And he knows Paul's telling them the truth. But he thinks he can reason his way out of it or somehow create a new gospel or create some way of living that makes him not have to make a choice whether he's going to accept Christ into his life or not. So he hedges his bets. He hedges his bets. And Paul never gets into the emotion side of it. Listen, this is my close. Meanwhile, as he hoped. Meanwhile, he also hopes. So what's happened is he's went away and he's had a think about it and he's decided to still meet with Paul, but he's got a different agenda. Okay, never mind the money bit that will hijack you here. The reason he's getting a different agenda is because, see, the thing is, he's still wanting to look that he's wants something, but he's not. He's still pretending to be wanting the gospel, but he's after something else. He's wanting to tick the box. He's kidding on, he wants Jesus. Meanwhile, he also hoped that money would give him Paul. Meanwhile, he hoped that money would be given to him by Paul, that he might release him. He's hoping to be bought out, as if Paul's going to buy him out. Here's the problem. Can I be honest with you? Here's the problem, and I don't have time to get into this. Here's the problem. See, if you're no free for people, you will get caught up in that compromise. Never mind the money here. Don't let that hijack it. You will get caught up with the compromise where you start compromising the person. With the person, you say, I don't know if you've ever done this. You ever been really strong with the gospel and then then you feel a bit bad because you were a bit tough. And before you know it, within, especially the friendship develops. See, the longer the friendship, the friendship's developing here. See, the longer the friendship develops, the gospel just goes. Remember when you start with people, you're full of the gospel and saying they need to know Jesus, and then you build a friendship and they never hear about the gospel again? Because now you've become a pal to them rather than a speaker of faith into their life. And they don't get saved. See, the thing is, I don't think they're any more selfish. You're going to heaven and they're going to hell, and you're not doing anything about it. Meanwhile, he also hoped that money would give him Paul, be given to him and Paul that he might release him. Therefore, he sent for him more often. I bet he did. And conversed with him. But after two years, Porcius Festus succeeded Felix. That's where we go to next. And Felix, wanting to do the Jews favour, just left Paul bound. History has no documentation of Felix ever giving his life to Jesus. Ever. There's no documentation ever of Felix surrendering his life to Christ. He compromised his way. He procrastinated his way, hoping that he would get a time later that never came. So he had to take the gospel and bury it out of sight and out of mind. What a tragedy. What a tragedy that we never know what happened to him. I'm sure if he was saved, it would have been noted that he was. So what's the moral? It's not even a moral, it's just the truth. We have to preach the gospel. Not get caught on people's agendas and people's issues. Fight the good fight of faith. Never get sidetracked. And let people know, listen, you might never get another chance. This might be the only chance you ever get, because you don't know what's going to happen when you leave here. And you've got a long time to think about it. Heaven's forever and so's hell. Jesus talked about hell more than he talked about heaven, and people, I know people, so-called believers, that don't even think hell's real. Really? Really? So Jesus was only an option then? Multiple choice? He's not. Now this doesn't mean, I know it's scary, you think, oh, what will happen to my life? What will happen? I've no idea what will happen to my life. Slowly but surely you'll be sanctified through the work. Them who he's foreknown, he's predestined. If God's called you to be saved, you've got to get saved. So does that mean we don't share the gospel? Because then what's the point? No, we still, but it's both. It's both. We still got to share the gospel. Last thing, this is the take home. Two things. If you've not gave your life to Jesus, we're going to pray and we're going to give you. Listen, we don't do hands up or hands down things. Please speak to somebody before you leave here. Get your heart right. Get yourself right with Jesus. Day at the day. I beg of you. I plead with you. Charles Hampton Spurgeon walked from aisle to aisle, from pew to pew. I pleading with people. Give your life to Jesus today. I promise you, you will never regret it. I promise you, you'll never regret it. If you're listening here in live streaming, you're maybe one of the people who are getting caught up in nonsense. Get yourself right with Jesus. Get yourself back through the doors of this church or the Church of Jesus Christ. Yeah. We will welcome you with open arms. We don't care what you've done, what you've said, or where you've been. It's irrelevant to us. Yeah. We don't care about that. We care about the gospel, and we care about your sanctification, and we care more importantly about your salvation. And to us, somewhere in between, don't allow the enemy to hijack you when there are people there deeply crying out and deeply desperate to hear this message of grace. Amen? Amen. Everybody stand. Let's just pray. Lord Jesus, we thank you for your amazing word in the life of Paul. I think he's becoming many our heroes. How he lived and how he never get caught up in people's issues or agenda. That he kept the main thing the main thing. He had this amazing gift of emotional detachment that never forced him to take his course of life and message somewhere else where it shouldn't be. Wherever this message finds us this morning, God, and finds every single son and daughter of yours in this room and who's listening live stream, may it land in good soil, God. May they be convicted in their heart and their spirit. May they dare to take that step towards salvation. You are drawing them by your spirit. Yes, you are. Because you love them. You've called them. You've picked them. And it might not make sense why, but God, oh, how the angels in heaven sing and dance when one of your souls are saved. when somebody repents and turns back to you. Help us to be the people that preach the gospel of grace. No matter what season we're in, or what friendship we've got, or what harm, or who's offending us or affecting us. In Jesus' mighty name we ask. And all God's people say, and amen.
Thank you so much for joining us in our live stream today. We really hope that God's word has impacted you.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have any prayer requests, then please send them into info@hopeunited.org.uk and we will be praying for you.
See you soon.